Yo, this is WSoul13 bringing you Raid Shadow Legends. So today we're going to be doing some benchmark testing again on s1mple this time, yeah? So we're going to be doing a straight like, what if you put s1mple out versus Warmaiden, I guess, right? So this is the result right here. So it's the exact same team as the video yesterday, except I took Warmaiden out and I put s1mple in. And, you know, honestly, the results are very similar. It's like a 1 key, it's like a 3 to 4 key-ish, maybe even 5 key if you get really unlucky, but it's probably like a 3 to 4 key on Nightmare. And then on Brutal, it's the same. It's a, it's less than a 1 key. It's definitely a 2 key still. Solid 2 key for sure, but definitely not in the 1 key range yet. So why does it seem like s1mple isn't like a giant upgrade to Warmaiden? So my s1mple, let's do a little head-to-head comparison because they're kind of built pretty similarly. It's just s1mple's base stats are definitely having a big factor. So I think they have the same lifesteal set. 171 to 179 speeds. I kept them in the same pocket. 200 accuracy. So I wanted to hit 200 accuracy over 40k life. 171 to 179 speed. And then as much depth as I can squeeze in there because they are going to be playing clan boss. So at least 2,000 depth. But really for clan boss, you want 2,700 depth. That would be kind of like the minimum that could get augmented with like buffs and things later on. So let's take a look at how big a difference it is when I try to... So it's the same build, lifesteal set, right? So let's see how big a difference it is stats-wise. Try to ignore the great crit damage for now. So right off the bat, with practically a similar build, I'm able to jack up s1mple's HP by a lot more. So it's up to, what, 16,000 base HP. So this translated into 58,000 HP over 45,000 HP, right? So that's a giant difference. Depth is a little bit better, 2,600 depth versus whatever I got there, 2,300 depth. And then the accuracy is about the same, over 200, which is what I wanted. And then speed is 171 to 179. I got that as well. Crit damage, like I said, ignore that from now because especially when you're first starting out, maybe your first 6 months of the game, building for crit damage isn't really that feasible, right? Especially your first 3 months for sure, it's not feasible. Once you start hitting the 6 month, 9 month mark, okay, you can start kind of like thinking about getting 100% crit rate on certain champs, like your campaign farmer, for instance, or your arena nukers. Yeah, definitely, that's something you can think about. But for now, right? How big a difference are there? Yeah, the base stats really do make a difference. So it's like 2,000 extra HP and then 200 extra base depth. So that's actually a big difference in terms of just base stats. So the more base stats you have, the easier it is to jack up their stats with the gear. We all know that. What separates s1mple, I think? So my s1mple isn't booked, right? So that Warmaiden is fully booked. This s1mple isn't fully booked, with 0 books actually. So what actually separates s1mple from Warmaiden is his ability to put the freeze on this A1. 50% chance of a freeze without books on the A1 is actually not bad. It's great. And if you can get him on some counter-attack accessories, that really makes that A1 a lot better. So really, this boils down to, can s1mple give you a leg up? So we already know in Clan Boss it's going to be utterly the same. So obviously, if we put simple in in dungeon runs, like the same dungeon runs we did with, we did this, right? We can swap that for more HP. The same dungeon runs with Warmaiden. We already know Dragon 16 is doable with just Warmaiden on teams. So let's not even test Dragon 16 anymore, because I don't think it matters as much. Because we already know Simple is going to be good enough to play Dragon 16. So let's see if Simple can actually get us through Dragon 20. I've already run this, I already know the answer. And the answer is, it's less than 100%. It's probably less than 80%. It's probably a 60% chance it gets through, maybe 50% chance. And the reason why it's almost impossible to get through Dragons 20 with just Simple in your team as like the big champ addition is because his A1 to control the waves only happens 50% of the time. And it only happens at one target at a time. So, if any of these Hordens go off, right, like right now, see, they're going off on Haikatun. Haikatun's probably going to go down. So the goal is to get Kale into the boss fight, right? That's kind of the goal that you want to have with this. So see, if Simple gets off enough, so Aleksandr, I'm talking about Aleksandr right here. If Simple gets off enough freezes like that one, then the chances of surviving the run goes up by a lot. It goes up quite significantly if Simple lands those freezes. But if he doesn't land the freezes, the fight is over by wave 2. Maybe even wave 1 if you're really unlucky. But that's it. So for dragons, we know this. This is why, if you look at my F2P low spender guide, one of the big roles I want you to fill is a carry champ or a control champ. You don't need both. You just need one. Valerie, the reason why I've rated her so poorly this whole time, the big reason there for me is that Valerie is just not enough to get you through Dragons 20. That's just the reality. She needs to be paired up with somebody else. The only reason why I'm advocating for building a Valerie a little bit earlier now is because of how good she is in Doom Tower. So she does really help you out in Doom Tower. So you can build her earlier, you know, like maybe to level 50 early. Because level 50 should be good enough to get you through Doom Tower stuff. And then maybe later on you can 6-star her if you really, really need her for Doom Tower still, or you need her for other content in the game. Maybe you need a buff extension for Clan Boss. You haven't pulled a buff extension champ. Yeah, she can be 6-starred. But Valerie at level 50, I think for a newer account, is a thing now, right? The problem is, see, there we go, Kale's down. So now this run is over. So even if we do make it to the boss, right, it doesn't really matter because the run is over now. So the answer to this question of can Simple get you to Dragons 20 is yes, he can over Warmaiden. He has a chance to get you through Dragons 20. It's probably half-ish the time. I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure if it's a little over half or a little under half, but it's definitely near half the time. And the reason why is because that A1 freeze can get you to freeze at the right time, and then you get through the waves. As opposed to an actual control champ, right, who has a 100% chance to control, or at least an AoE control, so a lot of the guys are controlled more often. That can get you through the Dragons 20 a lot more consistently. Also, a carry champ with something like Ally Protect can help, or a bigger shield than Valerie can put on will be good too. Or someone will revive. So somebody like a Broadmaw, maybe. So I think the next benchmark I want to do is for a control / carry champ. The carry champ I'm talking about is a reviver or somebody with actually good damage mitigation like ally protect, increased defense, shields that are really good. So we're going to be exploring those two things in the next video. But for now, Aleksandr, so simple to me, does give you a bit of a higher damage potential. So you can see there from the clan boss examples, both my runs had more damage than the runs with Warmaiden. And this is with s1mple not being booked out. So if you imagine s1mple being fully booked out, that damage potential is going to grow up by a little bit, maybe like another million maybe per run, depending on how well the team is like built. So we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be adding on more ingredients to this pot, like over time, right? And I feel like once we level up Opardin, and maybe even Godseeker and Neri, right? So we'll do some comps with Godseeker and Neri. We'll do some comps with Opardin. We'll see what kind of improvements we can get. So I haven't done. You're probably wondering why I haven't done Fire Knight or Spiders with this comp. And I think the answer is pretty simple here. So for Fire Knight, really, you're not getting past 11 without enough, like, multi-hits on your A1. So with Coffin Smasher here, I kind of expect we should be able to get through stage 13 here. Let's see, okay? I feel like it should be doable to do it with Coffin Smasher. You definitely want Haikatun there. You want Valerie. Coffin Smasher. So yeah, you need multi-hitters here to get